Ingmar, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for coming here. You're a freelance art director and you do much more than that. So why don't you briefly introduce yourself, about who you are, where you come from?
Sure. I'm Ingmar Larsen and I'm a freelance art director, creative, conceptual creative, as I always frame myself, because I also write a bit of copy sometimes, but I'm not a copywriter. So I'm living in Amsterdam for almost 3 years now. And before that, I lived in Utrecht for 7 years. I studied at the School of Arts in digital media design. And I got my master's in business administration, specialization in marketing management. So the combination of business and creativity is always, for me, a very nice combination.
All right. So you're a freelance art director, right?
Yes.
Can you briefly explain in easy language, what do you do?
So as a freelance art director, you work for mostly for agencies around Amsterdam, or maybe sometimes also internationally. And you work on campaigns, conceptual campaigns for brands. So the agency, they work for the brand. And you are, generating interesting concepts, so the brand sticks out and tell a great story along the way, the brand or product or service. And sometimes you work for banks, sometimes you work for clothing industry, car brands, food industry. It can be all kind of different industries, and they come with a certain problem, and you're trying to solve it in the most creative way. So they get more customers and they sell more of their own products.
And can you give some examples of what type of campaigns do you run, or what is the deliverable?
Well, sometimes it could be a PR story or activation. So it could be one event or one big thing happening. But sometimes it could also be like a format for like an online TV show. As for Albert Heijn, for instance, I did this thing called Intercom Star, where we created where employees of the Albert Heijn were singing through the intercom of the supermarket. And then this was more of a format campaign. So it can be all different things. It can be also one big TV spot that will be executed in different ways on social, online, sometimes also print or outdoor. But then the big idea, that's the main idea.
And as the art director, are you responsible for creating like the outline or the blueprint of how everything goes, or?
Yeah, you together with a copywriter, you're creating the concept, and then along the way, you choose the style of filming, the director you want to work with, the camera views, the script. You're working on the script together with the copywriter, and like the mood and setting the direction, how it should look, and yeah.
But ultimately, like for when you're shooting a video, for instance,
yeah,
you have an idea about how the setting should be and which angles should be used, right? But in the end, you choose the video director, right? Or no?
Yes.
But then you work together, or how does that?
Yeah, then you work together. Like the film director, he's writing a proposal how he sees it, and then you have an open discussion, and you want to tell your concept in the best possible way. So it's a collaboration with other creative people in a way, and then together you're trying to make the best as possible. And yes, of course, the film director has also good opinions or how things should work, and will give suggestions, and will but ultimately you are the decision maker in the end.
And do you look for the people, like do you know the people you need, or how do you get the video director for the campaign? For instance?
Sometimes a producer will look for certain directors as well and propose them to you. and sometimes people you worked with in the past,
Yeah,
or
so
sometimes people you like the work they make, and then but it all depends on the budget and how big the brand, on the budget most of the time.
And how did you get all into this? Like, as a child, were you creative, or can you share a bit about how you got interested in this?
Well, I wanted to become a movie director, and so I,
Really?
really, it's like as a little kid, and then my mom says always, "No, he's going to be in a, more of the shorter advertising business." And then, I did an internship at a New Message, small agency, is not existing anymore. And there I learned some basics. And then I thought, oh, this is interesting, shorter.
Can you elaborate on that? Like, what are the basic elements you need to learn first to become where you are now? Or according to you, like, what are the essential skills needed?
Persistence and dedication. I mean, it's a very competitive industry, and you're as good as your latest work. So you always need to work very hard and show that you are a different thinker in a way, and that you.
But how can you distinguish yourself out there from all the other guys? Basically, that's the question.
By creating concepts that other people haven't think of, or like being different in creating creative solutions that that really will people think about or talk about, concepts that people think, oh, I wish I should have come up with this idea. Or
do you have examples of that? Like, what are you most proud of yourself?
Well,
and not don't talk about that yet.
About myself or like other campaigns, it's always a I mean, for instance, a few years ago,
let me phrase it.
A few years ago was this campaign they did. Like the problem was bikers in the dark, you don't see them. So what did as a car brand Volvo did, they spray painted the bikes with a reflective paint. So the bikes becomes really visible in London, because a lot of car accidents with bikers exist over there. Well, as in any other big city. I think that's a clever and simple idea that really make the difference.
Did you come up with that, or
that's an example about things I like. So
I see. Let's talk about a little bit about smartphone addiction. Are you yourself addicted to the smartphone?
I think everyone is. Most of the people are addicted to smartphones because they're always these magical devices that always stare at you in certain situations, and it makes you feel comfortable for people to check your phone a bit.
Yeah, and it's getting worse, isn't it?
It's getting worse. Yeah, we check our phones almost 150 times a day on average,
maybe more,
and maybe even more, and. I mean, car accidents, families have sometimes difficulties talking with each other because of, kids can't call anymore with their parents because they like to type and text, and it's a serious matter,
So that's I think that's a nice starting point to talk about one of the things you have created.
Yeah, like 4 years ago, I started this thing. I was working in New York in an advertising agency as a trainee. And then me and my colleagues, we were, staring at our phones and thought on a rooftop bar in New York. And then you have this amazing view of New York, and then you're staring at your phones.
But you were aware.
We were aware that we were staring at our phones and had a good social time. And that all the people around us were staring at their phones. So we thought ourselves, let's, make fun of this. So we created one 3D prototype. So we 3D printed one phone that does nothing. And we called it the no phone.
Is it made of plastic or?
It's made out of plastic. And then we put it on a website. And then The Verge and TechCrunch started writing about it, and then within a week, we got 700 people asking for the product, and we thought, oh, maybe we should do more with this. And then we put it on Kickstarter, and this is the
But
product.
Oh yeah.
And we raised more than $18,000. And
Did you expect that?
No, not at all. It was never meant to be a product on the market. It was just as a joke. And then, you can't stop with innovation. So we created the selfie update.
What's that?
You can make real-time selfies.
It's like a mirror.
It's a mirror. And then, you're improving the packaging, of course. Along the way is also the selfie. And then the latest Novo product is the Air.
But there's nothing.
And that's, it's nothing, it's pure air. And you can hold it every time, whenever you are, hold the Novo Air. Yeah.
But how did you create this?
Yeah, so then we did this Kickstarter campaign, and then my neighbor, he's a game designer, and he helped me to design.
He's what?
A game designer.
Oh, he's a game designer.
And he game environmental designer, and he could help me with a 3D product. So I asked him, can you make something like unique, an own shape? And the iPhone 5.
The
iPhone 5 was just launched, so we created something in what the new iPhone could be, or this new Samsung could be. So we created the design. I drew it a bit, and he made it for real. And then we went to a production company in China, but then the file wasn't.
Did you know them? Like
No, we put it on Alibaba, and then this production company we got in contact with, and then they said, we could make it, but we needed technical drawing. So then I found on Fiverr, very nice website, someone,
job platform.
Yeah, that could help me with making the 3D file into a technical drawing, and then we ordered it. We got first one prototype. We said it looks perfectly. And then,
But how easy is it to? How do you know you can trust the Chinese manufacturer? You just did,
we just did. Yeah, it wasn't a very technical. It's not a very technical product. No buttons needs to work. There's no battery. It has no Wi-Fi. It has nothing. Yeah.
So what's your goal? Like, I know you've been talking. Sorry, I know if you've been talking about this in the Netherlands, but also abroad.
Yeah.
Like, what is your main message?
Well, that we all need to be aware of our smartphones, and that it shouldn't ruin our lives.
But do you think, if nothing changed, that it will be like that?
I think there's always when certain new techniques come out, there's always a switch of people, getting more anti or anti, but more aware. And I think we are getting more aware. And we all know.
You also see with the updates, for instance, that like Apple themselves, they create more insights, right? How often you use it.
Yeah.
But for me, for instance, I block all the notifications. So that's why I started doing this like 2 years ago. For me, that helps a lot, even though, sometimes you still cannot resist. Mm-hmm. So I'm aware of it, but it's still difficult, because it becomes the most common methodology to communicate.
Yeah.
And that's the
danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the end, what can you do about it? Just put it away, right?
Yeah, put it away, and being aware that when you're with friends, maybe, lock it even in a box. That's...
Like, I heard a story. Someone went to the cinema, and then this girl, she had a phone literally in the drink bucket, just, where you can put your drinks. She put her phone there, and then she was basically checking the whole time whenever something came up, and I think that's where it's going. Yeah,
it is gone. When we go to a museum, we're not going for the art piece.
Just to take a picture, to be there.
We're going there to take that nice photograph. Mm-hmm. and then share it on our social message, on our social medium. Because every like we get, it makes a bit of good self-esteem.
Did you hear the talk about from Simon Sinek about this?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I know you also... I wanted to ask this also. Like, when you give the talk, you give the speech, do people come up to you afterwards and ask you questions, or what are the kind of reactions you got from the audience?
We all, it's a good. The audience will think, that's a very clever, funny idea to combat this problem, and we all know the problem is there, and that's a very simple and funny message to you make it. How do you say that? Because tangible.
But it's like, go on.
Yeah, you make it tangible, like the whole story, and everyone can relate to it. So I did a TED talk, and then afterwards, a lot of people recognize this problem. People know it exists, and then they might, if you get this for your birthday or Christmas present, it kind of let you think about your own.
You become more aware of it, I guess.
Exactly.
And I think that's the most important thing. So recently, you also had this other thing,
I'm besides freelance work and doing side projects, because it gives me a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
But also when I'm working for companies, I'm trying to, when there is downtime, to create own projects for clients or brands. The latest thing, I had like a couple of weddings this year, and I thought sometimes you want to wear a tie and sometimes you want to have the bow tie, but there's no another thing that that has both options. So I created the tie both. And
that's a nice name, by the way.
And it's this product. So here you see it's a bow tie, and here it's a tie.
Can you demonstrate how you can switch it?
Yes. So you unlock it, and then you fold it 3 times.
Take your time. Yeah, there we go.
And there you go. You can do it with you can make it a bit your own style.
I see.
Now you have it. And it's made from oak wood. And then, yeah.
How did you come up with this? Like, I mean, you told me you attended a couple of weddings, but...
Yeah. That's a good question.
Can you give like a glimpse of... I mean, you think about it and then you start drawing or you start writing. What do you do?
No, I actually start thinking, and then I think, oh, this is...
you see it in your head or something?
You see it in your head, and then maybe, you think, okay, what is the base, or how can we... Is there a way to make this work? And then you start drawing, and then when you have the idea, you think, okay, now I'm gonna need to find the right people to help me to make the product, because I can't sew myself really well. I tried with a bit of ironing and but it looks shitty. So then I found a fashion designer, and then together we made this product. And I found a carpenter who helped me with designing this cube.
And what gives you the most satisfaction in all those things?
To not have, everyone can have ideas, and a lot of people have ideas, and a lot of people have creative solutions, but I like to bring it a step further.
Yeah, by executing.
And really executing, and, test it and see if it works. If it works, that's nice. I keep on, improving. If it don't work, then it's a nice story. It's a nice little thing.
And what are ways for you to stimulate creativity?
Oh, it can be creativity can come from a lot of different things. Sometimes it can come from a book, or sometimes from a talk. It's all around us every day.
Like for instance, some people get inspiration from sports. That when they train, right, or in the shower.
Yeah, I don't have one specific thing. No, it mostly comes when I see a problem, and then I will think of a creative solution. Or when I got a problem for a client, it comes, whenever. When you do groceries, or sometimes when I run, or sometimes when I do sports, indeed. But it could also come from a talk with someone, and then you make connections. So basically, you make links of things you have seen in the past, and then sometimes that's where the creative solution comes in.
So what is like, now you're a freelance art director. How do you see yourself like in the next couple of years? Do you have a plan, or?
Well, now currently being a freelancer, but if there is any nice job opportunity where I can, make more work, nice work, that's definitely a possibility. And then I see myself later, maybe at some point, together with other people, creating my own.
Like you have your own agency.
Maybe an agency, maybe it's a product that I invented that will.
To explode.
Will explode, or together with some other people. I don't know. At the moment,
it's all open.
It's all open at the moment. So, if you want to have a collaboration, you can call me after this.
See. But it's not like you have this preference for X or Y. That's what I was.
At the moment, no.
All right.
Well, at the moment, maybe first, get a bit more experience still.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And when I was looking on the internet, I also saw like the Distractagon.
Yeah.
We didn't touch upon that one, but you didn't bring it with you.
No, it's at my partner's place at the moment.
Oh.
So I couldn't bring it.
Okay, because I saw some other things that you got quite some nice press with some of the things you make. Like the Miss the Boat Party. Can you?
Yeah, that was for an agency called Sidley, and there are always people with an old travel guide coming to Amsterdam, maybe a Lonely Planet, and then they come on the wrong day when
there's nothing.
Where there's nothing, and that's a bit, unfortunate. So we created a funny boat party for them, the Mr. Boat Party, so they could still have a bit of, how King's Day normally is. Experience a bit.
So you just arranged another boat party on
the 30th, on the former date of the Queen.
Yeah. So what is like some other cool projects you have worked on? I look on your website. There's the 1 Hour Agency.
Yeah, I mean, the 1 Hour Agency was fun. It was like during my studies at Hyper Island, we created this thing that we could solve problems within 1 hour and present the solution within 1 hour. So that was a funny thing, because really, if you force yourself to come up with solutions, you get some solutions. Sometimes not the best solutions, but
you got some press release out of that.
Yeah, but because it's a little bit different way of normally thinking, because normally it's always long processes. So what we did was, help other agencies and creative people that got stuck with a certain problem, give them a fresh perspective on things. So, we had like a 10-minute, hello, who are you? What's your problem? And then a 30-minute ideation, 10-minute evaluation, and then 10-minute presentation on post-its, and then a 10-minute evaluation.
So what is the biggest learning out of this?
That you can... that's a good sales tool, or to show who you are and what you can do in 1 hour. Yeah.
I see. I want to talk a little bit more now about the future of advertising. I know you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, the future of advertising, I think we...
Like, can you maybe start with, how do you think the past 15, 10 years have gone by? Like, what are the major shifts or changes you've seen, or things that stick
well,
out?
of course, the media is, everywhere now. There's not one single channel. Back in the days, you had newspaper, TV, and billboards, and radio. And now you have like so many social different media platforms. You have like, it's hard to send your message across because people are everywhere.
Everyone can post something now.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Post is hard for brands to stick out.
Yeah.
And then we had a period where it was about like, make as much as content as possible to keep your head above the horizon. But now you see that it's really a matter of what is your content about, and how relevant is it for your target audience.
But the thing is, sorry to interrupt you. The thing is then, in some ways, not really fair for, like, it's really difficult to stick out in the first place. Also, if you have great content, because there are so many people, so many people submitting things or creating things. Like, you really have to be really good in order to stand out, or have some luck, or get some buzz generated. So there's a lot of good people who are not getting the attention they might or they should deserve. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
And how do you? Yeah,
it is more tough, but like being really creative and being totally different, that still can get your message across, and still could, make people look at you when they feel attached to it. When you make a thing that's really relevant for the target audience, people will still talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying, but I think all the big companies with big budgets, that's also like, you never win from those big companies. Well, unless you really have something that sticks out.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So
you have to stick out.
And then can you continue from there on? Like you say, there was a period where content...
Yeah, now I think it's more about the quality of your content, and like the level of craftsmanship you put in your work, and then.
But do you
voice is playing a bigger role in communication? So I think in the future we will use voice much more than we do now. So there is an opportunity for brands. And
do you see some brands already using it?
I mean, Google, Amazon, of course, but
that's in the
like
States.
brands there's this pizza brand, Domino's. I think they did or Burger King. They did a campaign with voice. So what they did was like they wrote down. They talked about, you could ask what is a burger, and then it will give you an explanation, and then the Siri of your computer will automatically go to the site of of Wikipedia or Burger King or something. It was something like this kind of construct. Yeah.
Okay. So, and what are you most excited about for the future?
Well, I think we're. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, to make still work that stands out, I mean, it could be something really digital, but it doesn't have to be always.
Okay.
Make it relevant for your target audience, and make something that really people think, oh, that's a nice thing, or that's a nice product, or that's really relevant for me. That's the thing I want to feel related to. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Ingmar, for this. We're approaching the end. So is there anything we didn't touch upon or you still would like to talk or say?
Well, I think for all the listeners, if you have an idea, don't let it be an idea, but really make it, start doing. There are always people willing to help you. Together you can make it really into something. And if it doesn't work, maybe another solution will help. But as long as you only think, nothing will happen. So start making stuff, and start doing.
That's a great answer. Thanks a lot. So, last question: how can people find you on the internet? I will put also the links, of course, on the pages.
You can follow me on Instagram, Ingmar Larsen _Larsen, and or ingmarworks.com. You can see all the works I've done, and I'm available for freelance work. And maybe it's also nice to mention at the moment.
The campaign, right?
At the moment, I'm doing this little thing called Creative for Charity, and what we do is like, together with a copywriter as a team, you can book us, and then half of the pay will go to a good charity of choice of the agency. So the whole month of December, we think it's important to make December, how we perceive the December month, make it perceivable for other people in the world, where normally December is not a December as it is for us. Yeah.
All right. I want to thank you a lot. Going to shake your hand. Thank you. And best of luck with everything. And let's keep in touch.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks, guys, for listening, and see you next time.
Thank you.